476024, Keaton Nicole Peterson.
Yes.
And are you Peter DiGiulio?
Yes.
Counsel, your appearance and bar number.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mike Warhol, bar number 5814, on behalf of the defendant, Pete DiGiulio.
Your motion is the order shortening time?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so I don't expect a written opposition. I'll hear from Mom on that. What is the emergency?
Well, Your Honor, Mom, according to Dad, Mom was threatening to take the children and not come back with them. We put it in our OST, and also we have the motion. At the time, Your Honor,
It looks like she's released.
she was released. Yeah, that's what
Okay.
it said. It says that she was released.
Oh, no, my impression was she was about to get released.
No.
All right.
She was released. And in fact, it says that, I think, in our motion. That we
Ma'am, what were you
submitted.
incarcerated for?
Trafficking of a controlled substance.
And how long were you
I
incarcerated?
was incarcerated for 1 year
1 year? What prison?
at Florence McClure.
Okay, and when did you get out?
I got out on February 11th.
Are you on parole or probation?
I'm on parole.
And for how long is that going to be?
2 years.
You got out in February?
February, yes.
Okay. And you have 2 kids?
Yes.
Peter is 9 and Taylor, is that a girl? 6?
Yes, Taylor is a girl, 6.
Okay. And these parties have never been to court before?
I think they have in the past on some unrelated matter, Your Honor.
Not custody. Is there a custody order?
But
Your Honor, we actually were in your courtroom for
the TPS.
How long ago was that?
it was our case that got kicked back to
It was a child support case,
the
apparently,
child
Your Honor.
support.
Okay, because I didn't see any court minutes on any
Right, no.
D cases.
They were here. Apparently, it's one case, one judge rule.
All right, so the parties aren't married, right?
No.
No.
And they lived together at some point in the beginning?
Yes.
Correct.
And how long is it since they've broken up?
Well, it's been a while, Your Honor. I mean, she's been
5 years.
5 years
Yeah.
you separated? Okay.
Right.
And what's happened in the last 5 years? Were they sharing the children? What kind of schedule they had?
Well, she was in jail. For
Well, I know for the last
several
1 year.
1 year of the 5 years, but
Right.
the 4 years prior to that?
I had Pete was paying me child support for a significant amount of time.
And you never had a custody order. But how often did he take the children?
He took them, well, he didn't take Taylor, he took Taylor once a day, and he took Petey on the weekends. My son on the weekends, but my daughter was a baby, so he only took her maybe once a week.
Your Honor, we respectfully dispute that. In fact, they had joint custody from a Connecticut order. There was a prior order in this case.
Of one child.
Prior
Peter?
order
Yes.
in another jurisdiction in Connecticut, and they had joint custody. We dispute that respectfully.
This is the kid's home state now, though, right?
Correct.
So, and nobody
Correct.
lives in Connecticut.
Right, no one lives
All
in
right.
Connecticut, but, I mean, there was an order prior.
For
regarding-
joint custody?
Correct.
Joint physical custody? Okay. Is Mom have any concerns about Dad's parenting?
Yes, I have some things to say.
What is it? Drugs, alcohol, violence, anything of that sort?
Well, my biggest concern is some of the things he said are not entirely true, but mostly my biggest concern that I would really like looked at is my son has ADHD and he takes medication for ADHD. He also takes medication for sedation to sleep. Well, he's giving my other child that medication, and I completely disagree with that. I don't believe she's not.
Well, other than he
diagnosed
said,
for
she
that.
said, did he ever admit that to you?
He did it right in front of me and all the other family members, including his own.
Okay. How did you get involved with drugs? Was something stressful happen in your life, or?
I think probably the breaking up of our family had caused me to start doing some things. I'm a licensed esthetician. I'm a working person. I was doing very, very well when we had split up. I had some psychological problems, some issues with that, and it caused me to use drugs, which I hadn't used drugs since I was a teenager. So I had 10 plus years sobriety, and so I
Do you have a
started-
prior? Do you have a prior history
No. I
of
don't
sobriety as for alcohol, or?
As for everything, alcohol and drugs, yes. And so I started using again when we had split up, and caused me to make a decision, a poor decision. This was a short time of me using because I went to prison right away. So
When all that happened, were the kids present at any
no,
of that?
absolutely not.
Okay.
They were, and so Pete had them while I was in prison. Of course, obviously they were with their dad, and I have no
Okay.
dispute to that. But now I'm a licensed esthetician at a medical spa.
Have you ever taken the kids from their dad or hid them or
No, never.
ran out of state or
He
anything?
did that actually. He took our child, Petey. Came back here. We were living in Connecticut. That's how he got the joint custody. We were living in Connecticut. We came back here, and I told him that I didn't want to go back to Connecticut, and he said, okay, well, I'm going back to Connecticut. I just want to take our son to the park. And he took him to the park. He actually got on an airplane and flew back to Connecticut, and I had to call the police. I had no idea where my son was. Multiple hours went by. I got no phone call.
And so the Connecticut judge gave you guys joint custody?
Yes, because of the 6-month rule of where the child was a resident. But he still maliciously took the child without my knowing across the state.
And did he exercise his joint custody?
We got back together short thereafter and had another child. So it was never
right.
used because we got
Okay.
back together.
What's Dad's version of what happened in the past?
In the past, as far as what? We understand that she had several gross misdemeanors for drugs when she was 18. As far as the Connecticut thing, he came out here for vacation from Connecticut. She tried to keep the kids and him out here when the children were already Connecticut habitual residents. Mm-hmm. So her story is like the photo negative of what my client's version is. Additionally, what we're going on right now is it appears that she's claiming that she's living at her mother's house, but it appears that she's never there.
Are you in a halfway house?
No, I live at my grandparents' house. It's a
grandparents'
5-bedroom
house.
house with a room for the children and a playroom for them.
It appears that she's never there. That's one of our concerns, is we need to nail down exactly where she is. Additionally,
Live at your grandparents,
I live at
the
my
kids'
grandparents.
great-grandparents. That's
Yes.
your grandparents.
Additionally, my client has given her unsupervised blocks of time recently, and he's given her like a certain amount of time, and she'll bring the children back 2 hours early.
Are you under random drug testing?
Well, through my parole, yes.
And how long's the parole again? A year?
For 2 years.
2 years.
That's another thing, Your Honor. We have concerns because she's taking the children. She took the children to a casino arcade recently, and that's a violation of her parole, is what our understanding is. She's not allowed to go into casinos. So had she been arrested for doing that at that time, then here we are with the children having to see their mother get arrested, and we have grave concerns regarding that. And there's
She says the children were not present when she got arrested.
They were not.
They may not have been, but I'm talking about now when she's on parole, she's taken them to a casino and she's not allowed to go into a casino. If she were stopped or something like that, going into a casino, she could be arrested with the
Okay.
children there.
Dad's kept them for a year.
That's how he's been their whole sole provider for an entire
Okay.
year.
And
And here's another concern we have.
Yeah.
She cooperated with the. It's our understanding that she cooperated with the authorities, and she was basically a CI, a confidential informant. And we have concerns that the children are at risk by being in her care for prolonged periods of time because of retribution from the people that she
That's not true.
basically reported on.
Okay.
Well, ask her if she was an informant for the authorities.
I was not an informant for the authorities. That's not how. I had a public defender, and that's how I got my.
Is there any concern that people might come back to you? Or?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to
Absolutely
see
not.
the plea agreement. See what the
Okay.
plea
What else is Dad concerned about?
Well, stability, that issue I just brought up about the confidential informant.
In terms of her parole, staying clean, getting a job, reporting to her officer for PO?
Yes.
Okay.
So those are our concerns right now. We're talking about someone who's fresh out of prison for drugs.
I see 1, 2, 3, 4 TPOs. Is there violence involved?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Oh,
This stuff
I'm
was
sorry.
filed in 03, 07, 09,
You mean the
010.
restraining orders?
Restraining orders,
yes.
TPOs, temporary
Yes,
protected-
I've had multiple restraining orders on
All
him.
4 of them were against him?
Yes.
Right, and
the
then they get
reason
dropped.
is because. And
Did you
also,
drop all 4 of them?
I think one of them went on for a year, if I don't remember correctly. I went to have it extended to a year. So
Why did you file? Is he violent?
there's been violence in the past, yes, which is why I need a schedule on a weekly basis, some type of schedule to where I don't have to deal with him. Like, he just chooses when he feels I should see the kid.
Were these restraining orders granted?
I
Were they
believe so.
extended for a year? Did you drop them?
Our understanding is that they were dropped. Were any of them extended, your recollection?
I thought that one of them.
Peter Sr. doesn't
They're
have
living together
a
apparently
arrest
at that
history
time.
for domestic violence? No
He's never
criminal
been arrested for
history?
domestic violence.
I don't see a financial disclosure, so I don't know what they do for. What does Peter do for a living? You have a job now?
Yes, ma'am. I work in a medical spa. I'm a licensed esthetician.
Correction. They both were arrested once for domestic violence.
Any charges filed, criminal cases?
He has no
None.
he has no conviction for domestic violence.
What's he do for a living?
I work for ADT installation, alarm and
The alarm.
Security,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. They willing to go to mediation, or is this so
We have no
polarized?
problem with mediation, Your Honor. I mean, I don't see a problem with that.
Dad is off on weekends, or he installs during the weekends? It's your work days off?
I'm off on Sunday and Monday, Your Honor.
Sunday, Monday? What are your days off?
As of right now, I'm only working 16 hours a week at the medical spa that I work at, and that's Fridays and Saturdays. So the rest of the week, I'm available.
Dad is off Sunday, Monday, so if I get back Sunday, Mondays. And you have to be in Friday, Saturday. You're both working Friday, Saturday. Who watches the kids?
Well,
you
he's
have
my client
daycare?
is remarried and he has a
Wife?
family with, and they want,
Does
yes.
he have other children?
Yes.
How old?
The ages.
My stepson is 10 and my newborn is 15 months.
Do you have other children?
I do not, ma'am.
Okay.
Just the two.
Anything else?
Your Honor, I will submit it at this time.
Okay, what do you propose in terms of a schedule?
You know, Your Honor, I don't know. I mean, we're concerned about overnights right now. I mean, the kids come back, they're confused, they're upset a lot of times when they come back from visitation. We believe that mom
Did
is
they
telling
visit
them.
mom while she was in prison?
No.
No.
You never allowed that.
You phone called them?
Absolutely.
Phone calls?
Multiple times in a week.
Letters?
Absolutely. I have a stack of letters this thick that I wrote to
That
my
true,
children.
Dad? She communicates with the kids?
Yes, she would write
Okay,
and she would call. But
okay.
the children,
Did you keep her updated on how the kids were doing while she was in?
I did. And
Okay.
but my son is very, very traumatized by the whole situation. He does not.
The fact that she's back in his life?
He feels that he's since she's back, his behavior has gone off the chart bad again. The medicine, we're having to constantly readjust his medicines. He acts out. He's starting to get aggressive, and
Are you giving the little one medication?
my son, my daughter basically doesn't remember her mom leaving.
Should we have them interviewed?
Well,
Or
yeah,
mediate first? If they don't make an agreement by
I
themselves,
would say
then
so.
we'll...
Mediate first.
Mediate
Exactly,
first,
I would say
and then
so.
we-
But
okay.
you know, given their ages,
When was the last time you were
it's a
drug
tough
tested?
call, Your Honor. I mean, one of them is
Um,
6 years old.
A couple of days after, about a week after I was released from prison, the drug counselor drug tested me, so about a month and a half ago.
But they can pull one on you anytime, right?
Anytime. As a matter of fact, she's already been by my house. She just didn't drug test me that
Did you
day.
take the kids to a casino?
No, I did not.
A lot of he said, she said.
Yes. There's a lot. There's still many more
If that
things
occurred, would
right.
the PO put you back in?
Actually, I'm allowed to be in a casino. I'm not allowed to be in a bar. I'm allowed to be in a casino.
No, he said you took the kids to the casino.
No.
Okay.
You want to, Your Honor? Do you
And,
want the
how
youngest
many-
interviewed?
Who lives in your household?
I live there with my grandmother and my grandfather. That's it.
5-bedroom home?
5-bedroom home. They have a playroom. They have their own bedroom. I have a car.
Where do the
I
kids go
work.
to school? What intersection?
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Where do the kids go to school?
Where's the kids?
They go to Staten.
Where?
Where's,
Staten
what are the cross
Elementary.
streets?
Sageberry and
Oh, I don't know.
basically Far Hills and 215 area.
Summerlin.
I can take them to school if they need to go
What
to
side of
school.
town do you live on?
I live just off of Spring Mountain and Fort Apache, Grand Canyon, which is just a few, on the 215, it's literally like 10
The
minutes.
southwest.
Yeah, I live right down the street, basically.
Okay.
And I want to spend the nights. I want to have them be able to read them stories and put them to sleep and be with them. And I can take them to school too. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
What is the relationship with you and your son?
He has some emotional problems that he's always had from before, so to say that these emotional outbursts are directly from me would be a lie, because we've been dealing with this with my son since when me and him were living together we were together for over 7 years. And this is something that he's had the entire time. So saying it's directly from me is is not true, because he periodically has these type of emotional disorders. So just the fact that I'm back may be a little hectic on him, but the more that I see him, he only lets me see them 10 hours a week.
Does he get services at the school district? Is he on an IEP or he's in regular classes?
He's in regular classes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And, since the time when I basically became his full-time custodian parent,
Okay.
second grade, because when Keaton was
When she was responsible for taking him to
You're
school,
saying
he
these
missed
problems
60
the
days
child
of
is
school.
experiencing
And he
is
was
just
doing
recent
terribly in
now.
school.
Is he in counseling?
he is.
He is. Do you know who the counselor is?
Dr. Child, I presume.
Ma'am,
Okay.
if I come over there one more time, you're out. All right? Be still.
Okay, number one, we have a de facto 1-year full-time primary custody with Dad because Mom was away for a year. Number two, I'm going to send him to mediation. Number three, I'm going to give Dad temporary primary custody. I'm going to see if Mom stabilizes. I want to see the living arrangements. You bring photos. There is a very good chance I may give you the shared custody if maybe you and Dad can talk, get along, co-parent, do your parenting classes, and evaluate it for 90 days and see, can a PO write a letter for you about your compliance?
I'm sorry.
Can your parole officer write a letter for you about your
I
compliance?
mean, I can ask her. I'm assuming she would. I've been
Okay.
in compliance.
I'm assuming with the random drug testing, if they pull random drug tests, if she comes up dirty, they'll either put her before a judge right away or she goes in. So I don't see any drug issues right now. Stability is the
We would request a drug test. My client will pay.
sure. It don't cost
I would
her.
request on both ends because it's also part of
Okay,
his
each
task.
pay her own. It's 127 hair and urine. Okay. And if you pay for it in full, I'll get the results in 24, 48 hours, and you can check my office and see what the results are. If somebody comes up dirty, you're going to hear from us anyway. We'll be back in court in a 72-hour hearing.
Okay.
Okay.
You were going to.
I'm just going to err on the side of caution because Mom just got out. I'm going to see her stabilize. I want to see a compliance letter if her PO can write that. We'll send them to mediation, no judge, no lawyer involved, and see if you two can work it out. If you don't work it out, then I'm going to have the kids interviewed downstairs at the same place and see how they feel about both of you and what their wishes and desires are. But they don't get to choose about their custody. And you have to do your parenting class, live or online. The online brochures are on the table there next to the tissue boxes.
We do have a couple of things. First,
Mom will have to be also accountable financially. She'll pay temporary child support for 3 months.
That wasn't what I was going
Right.
to ask her. Is she living with her grandmother?
Her grandparents, the kids' great-grandparents.
Okay.
It's just the
And-
grandparents, 5-bedroom home. She'll have a room, and the kids will have
Watching the
their
child
own
when
room.
she's working.
It's a direct order for her to bring photos of the living situation. And have you disclosed to Dad the address?
Yes, he knows. He's always.
Okay. We got rules about joint legal custody. That means you have equal decision-making regarding the children, access to their medical records, and school records. And you're supposed to let the other parent know at all times where you're residing or where the children will be residing. And if you move, you're supposed to let the other parent know as well. Do you each have the contact numbers, phone numbers?
Yes, I do.
Okay, this one's for Mom. Mom pays. And it'll be today, immediately after court. They note when you show up. Are any of you on prescriptions?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you go give your sample, and then you can go back home and later bring them the prescription bottle to see if anything comes up, then it's consistent with prescribed medication, so that would clear you on that.
Concern about her grandmother. We understand her grandmother has dementia. We just have concerns about grandmother watching the children.
Absolutely never is my grandmother ever watched or going to be watching the children. And my grandfather, who
I'll accept that, and so you are, when the kids are with you, you are going to be with them.
absolutely.
Okay. So we have, we'll just monitor that Grandma would not be a supervisor of the kids or take care of them. And how's Grandpa doing?
Grandfather's great.
Is he retired?
He's retired.
Okay. And you have other family members in town?
I have a
Support
very, very
network?
big support system of family members. My
Okay.
sisters, my
Then
brother,
you-
my mother, my father.
Appropriate supervision. If you got to run out of the house, you have an appropriate care provider.
So is there a schedule of when I'll see this?
Yeah, I'm going to give you probably the shared custody is a minimum 40% of the timeshare. I'm going to get you somewhere in the mid to high 30 percentile. So if I give that to you, you would have approximately 168 hours in a week. If I give her, let's say 37%, 38%, 39%. 39% would be 65 hours a week. I'll maximize it as soon as I can, but I'm just going to err on the side of caution, give Dad the temporary primary label. Okay.
Your Honor, can we get an order that
65 hours.
no one
So
smokes around the children as well, because the
no smoking around the
maternal
kids in the
grandmother has
car or
stage
in
4.
the house. Go smoke outside.
That's fine. That's already
Secondhand
known.
smoke. And one has asthma, I think, or?
Yeah, the maternal grandmother has cancer, lung cancer, and
I don't know how to prove if he's given the little one ADHD medication. Number one, there'd be a change in the kid's behavior. Number two, the only way to find out is to do blood work, and that's so invasive. I don't want to do that to the child.
Can you ask him to not do that anymore?
well, he's going to do whatever the doctor tells him to do. I mean, that's what he's going to do. I mean, if there's a physician that's
Neither
required to do
parent,
something-
neither parent's going to give medication that's not prescribed for the particular child. If there is, they're not. Okay.
If it is, it is.
How do they communicate as far as now when she takes care of the kids and and Peter Jr. needs to get his medication? Do they have scheduling? The pill bottle has to go between households.
For the overnights when I would have him, I
Right.
need to be able to give it to him.
You got to start emailing each other and letting each other know what schedules are. And of course, I mean, your child has extra needs. So, should we put them on the Wizard program? Everything goes in there.
You know, I don't know. I mean, they can
Probably
text or
worth it.
email, but if you want to do the wizard, that's
That
fine.
program has absolutely everything. School stuff, you can upload medical bills, you can email the parent. The parent can't play games like block their email addresses. We know when they log on, log off, and we expect timely responses regarding the children. There is different parts on that website where they manage everything that has to do with the kids, and it stays in there permanently. And if there's a he said, she said, I can go in there. I don't usually go in there. 99% of the time I don't go. But if I need to if I catch somebody lying on there that oh yeah, I responded, and they didn't respond, then I'll hold that parent accountable. It's $99 a year. Help get friends and family to help you pay for that. But just sign up immediately. Like within 24 hours, you two will have your accounts linked, and you need to upload pill schedules for Peter Jr. and anything, events, kids, open houses, graduations, extracurricular activities, doctor appointments, it all goes in there. If they go to dentist, you upload a dentist bill. We'll put a 30-30 rule that if a parent paid out of pocket to pay for a cavity filling or something, you send it in there, and then they have 30 days to pay it, their half share. If they don't, they're stuck with the whole bill. Okay? It's management regarding your kids. All right, we'll do mediation first, come back 90 days. Family Wizard, take the parenting class. I want full compliance when we come back, and then you have a good shot of upgrading you to shared custody.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, but give me a PO letter and that you're on board with the Family Wizard, and both of you are co-parenting.
Your Honor,
Yes?
my son Pete has expressed very adamantly that he did not wish to stay overnight with his mother. He does not feel comfortable.
He's never had an overnight.
Well, not since I've been released, no. Taylor has, not me.
You've had Taylor overnight
I've had
since you've
Taylor
been
overnight,
released?
yes.
When's he going to be 10?
May.
So he's almost 10. Okay.
I think
Child
it
stages of development, 9 or 10. Usually it depends on their level of maturity, and obviously with extra special needs, the ADHD. 9 and 10-year-olds, we usually say they want both their parents in their lives and they want equal time. It could be because you were gone for a year and you weren't there to bond and nurture with him. We may have to take it slowly and keep him in counseling and involve you, Mom, in the counseling. So it is Dr. Child?
Yes.
That is count, okay.
It was more than a year, Your Honor.
We'll
that-
take it one
that
step
she
at a
was
time.
out of their lives.
Okay.
She basically signed over custody in the stipulation that you had suggested that we had.
Nothing was ever reduced to writing and signed off by me though, right?
It was. I had an attorney drafted up. It was signed. It was
Okay.
filed, but it had the R number and not a D number.
All right. We'll hold off on the overnights for Peter Jr.
Okay.
And Mom can spend the full day with him though.
Yes.
All right. I need a 65-hour schedule. Taylor, no problem. Peter, no overnights. He can go home to his dad.
Are you going to have them interviewed, Your Honor?
And how often's the counseling? Once a week? Once every 2 weeks? It should be intense in the beginning,
It's actually just getting underway.
getting underway.
because,
Okay, Mom has the right to call Dr. Child, let her know who she is, and if the doctor needs anything from you. And then you both give your viewpoints of what is troubling the child and anything the doctor can help the child with, and then get him to reunify with his mom. But day visits are fine. You've had him for day visits though, right?
Yes.
What's the longest?
They-
an
I
8-hour
pick about
day?
10 hours a week.
I'm sorry?
During the day.
Yeah.
I pick them, as of the schedule that's been right now, is Tuesdays and Wednesdays I would pick them up from school, bring them home
Do their
between 6
homework.
and 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And then Saturday from like
All day?
10 to about 5 p.m.
Yeah, okay. Day visits are fine.
But
I don't want to
think-
interfere with Dad's Sundays and Mondays because he's home from work and
Right.
he can care for the kids.
Right. Okay.
So
65 hours for the 7-year-old? 6-year-old? 65
that's
hours?
about 2.5 days, 2.7 days.
The problem that's been, Your
And
Honor,
then the kids will stay together, but the Peter Jr. with this just go home at night.
I can bring
with
him
the dad.
back home and just keep Taylor overnight and then
All right, 2.7 days. Do you prefer the back end of the week or middle of the week, like school, and take him to school?
I could do
The weekend, he's off Sundays, so you can have you work Fridays, Saturdays.
I work Fridays and Saturdays, right?
So you would like to have him then probably can't interfere with the Sunday, Mondays. You probably can have Tuesday morning to Wednesday morning. It's 24 hours till Thursday morning. It's another 24 hours until
And Your Honor, just so you know, every other week...
Thursday
my-
night, maybe.
I'm sorry, every other week my client has his stepson there, so, and the children like to be together, obviously, so we're trying to make it to where they can have time together when the stepson's at dad's.
My daughter wants to be with me.
It should be
She's like,
probably. Do they go to different schools?
The stepchild?
Yeah.
Yeah, the stepchild goes to a different school than... what
I
school
was
does the
thinking
stepchild go?
Tuesday after school until Friday morning.
They're trying to get his own variance, to try and get him in the same school as
Okay.
his son here, but he goes to school in Henderson right now, is what our understanding is, so they're trying to
Really?
get him over.
Okay. I'm thinking Tuesday after school to Friday morning. Doesn't interfere. And what time you go to work Friday?
9 a.m. Friday morning.
That'd be perfect. You drop them off at
That
school,
sounds
you
good
go
to
to
me.
work. It's not quite 65 hours, 60 hours, but it's temporary. We'll do with that, and then
And that's
we'll
for
see if we'll
Taylor?
expand it.
That's for Taylor, Your Honor?
Yes, but the kids will stay together. The only difference is she's got to get Peter Jr. home to Dad's house in the evening, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and then she has Tuesday at 3 until. Now Taylor and Peter Jr. are in the same school. Great. So you have one location to pick up. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and then Thursday morning her time ends.
What time, so does she take him to
Junior
school?
goes home Tuesday night and Wednesday nights with Dad.
Okay.
But she's responsible for homework. I don't want to see any decline in grades. Is he an AB student?
Doing well now.
That's what my main concern was,
Mm-hmm.
is when Keaton was taking care of him while I was working full-time, we were sharing custody when Petey was in first grade.
Okay.
He missed 60 days of school.
No. We can't miss school, be tardy. I'm not saying you are, but they'll be on school on time. Yeah.
Once Petey started living with me full-time, second, third, and now he's in fourth grade, he's missed under 10 to 12 days a year, and he's an AP honor roll student.
That's because
Okay.
he's now married.
Wait
and
a
his wife
minute.
takes him to school.
This past year, okay, she just got out February, and he has all these absences. That's under your watch.
Oh, no, not.
Or is it since February?
He had 60 when he was in first grade under her care.
Yeah.
He almost
Oh, this
didn't
is prior,
graduate
Right.
in first grade, okay.
Right.
All right, well, we're here now in the present, and nobody's going to miss school unless there's a good excuse. No unexcused absences or tardies. I want perfect compliance, okay? The kids, especially with ADHD, timeliness, structure, routine. Okay, going home, we have to take him back to Dad's house at night. It's a lot of driving and exchanges, but we're just going to work this for 90 days. I will see a letter. It's confidential, the treatment with Dr. Child, but please ask Dr. Child to write a letter about how many sessions he's been attending and any prognosis about his relationship with each parent. And
I
that
have
he's,
the letter.
yeah, okay.
I have a letter from Dr. Childs that we needed to get the zone variance for him to stay at Staten because the doctor
Okay.
thought that when we moved out of the zone, breaking up his structured environment,
Right.
including his schooling, would set him back in his treatment. So
Yeah.
we do have a letter.
You got to do what you got to do on that. Get Dr. Childs to write an update letter, how many sessions he's attended and how he's doing. Not anything specific or detailed that he's actually telling the doctor, because that's private and confidential between him and the doctor. You get an updated letter. I think it's Tuesday, pick up at 3. The older son goes home at night, Tuesday, Wednesday.
What time?
Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday.
You said Friday morning,
It would-
drop off at school?
You're right. Tuesday to Wednesday is 24 hours, to Thursday is 48 hours, and I take him Friday morning is another, actually, it is 65 hours, if you get him to school by 8 a.m. So you have 30, divide by 168, you have 36% timeshare. A third at a time, a little over. Every
What
week.
time is Peter going to be home at?
Thursday, 3 to elementary school, they start at 9, I think, so Friday at 9, Mom is the responsible parent.
Okay, then what time does Peter go home?
You feed him dinner, get the homework done Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night?
Yes.
Okay, downtime is between like 7 and 8. The 9-year-old, what time do they go to bed? 8:30?
Yeah.
Okay. Want him in bed by 8:30? Is 8:30 his bedtime?
Yes, ma'am. They're allowed to play. Dinner usually between 5:30
o'clock.
6:30.
So you have about 5 hours.
She needs to be bathed every night.
Well, of course.
That's been an issue in the past.
Okay. Proper hygiene in both households.
Yes.
Nobody's
FDFs,
making
Your Honor? FDFs?
FDFs.
Okay.
I defer on the child support.
Okay. And we're also reserve the right for constructive arrears.
Yeah, that's kind of a given. He's had custody for the last 12 months, and there will be,
More than that. but
you can
yeah.
go back 4 years, and, well, there's a child support case. They must have stopped.
Well, there was.
There
I will look into that.
will.
You bring me anything on the child support case.
Okay, so he's going to pick up Drew Jr. every day after school and keep him till 8 o'clock?
At Dad's house by 8,
By 8.
and then he's got to be in bed by 8:30, so that's why.
And Taylor stays over the night, though. We drop
Yeah.
off my
Mhm.
son
Yeah.
and we go back.
Yeah.
There is a pending R case, apparently, Your Honor. There's a pending.
I know, I don't have time to look through the R case, but we'll square that away when I get their FDFs, and you
Okay.
attach your last 3 pay stubs.
Get a
Are you
bill, so-
1099 or you get a
I
paycheck?
believe I would be 1099.
Okay.
No, right here, where's this?
I'm not having you pay anything to Dad right now. We're going to square away some numbers, and then be prepared. There will be arrears for a year's worth at least, and I don't know about the prior years about that.
You think
Depends
it's-
on, I don't know what the child support court has done. Okay.
Your Honor, things like past medical bills, and stuff like that, that's for trial or...
Uploaded on Wizard too, yeah.
Right, okay.
Uploaded on Wizard.
All the bills on...
Medication instructions, they go on Wizard.
Okay.
Okay. And here, the only way to find out too about the medication is you get a refill every month, if it's a 30-day supply. And if he's refilling way too much, then that would be of concern. So you have to either have an attorney help you and sign a release form and get the Board of Pharmacy records for any prescriptions filled in the state. Okay? We just make sure they're normally filled out. Then that might be an indication he's not giving the extra pills or taking extra pills and giving them to them. Okay. Timeliness, no tardies at school, no unexcused absences. Hope class, PO letter, photos of the residents, living arrangements. Good. Mr. Warhol, you're going to get the order since you're the
Yes, I'll do
only
it.
attorney on the case.
Sure.
See you on,
July 29th at 9 a.m.
okay, go sign up mediation downstairs, then go to ATI and submit to your drug tests and call us for results.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Oh, and